Hey guys, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, February 24th. I am in the office today because it is pouring down rain. Before we get into the report, I do want to tell you guys the new website, the new platform is up. It is running. It is pretty dang cool. You can see it right over here. It's tablerockfishingintel.com. A lot of stuff on there, guys. We've got over 300 marked maps on there of Table Rock. We've got a couple hundred videos on there, not just fishing report videos from myself. We've got some from Pete Winters. We've got instructional videos. We've got product videos. We just shot a video over the past weekend on winning the BFL this upcoming weekend. We had myself and Bobby Albert and Tim Sonato all there, talking about what we think it's going to take to win the BFL. So that's some information you can get off of there. I'm going to be doing a video with J.E. Vanetta this week, which is basically on Humminbird electronics, how to set up your Humminbird, what to do when you first turn on your brand new graph, kind of negotiate your way around. Have had a few comments that it is a membership site, and it is. There's a free side and a pro side. The free side doesn't cost you anything. You get some of the information. If you want to get all of the information that's available on the website, you will have to become a pro member. It's not real expensive, less than $1 a week to do that, but there's a lot of information on there. We're going to be continually adding information, daily fishing reports, weekly fishing reports, monthly fishing reports, all kinds of stuff coming your way on that website. So check that out. Again, it's tablerockfishingintel.com is the name of the website. But anyway, about Table Rock for this past week. Was on the water 5 days since the last time we did a video. Fished 2 or 3 days last week, plus fished the Anglers in Action on Saturday. So yeah, 5 days last week. Didn't do great in the Anglers in Action. We only had 3, missed some pretty key bites and some pretty key opportunities. Lost a good one, broke another one off. Excuse me. But the bite is definitely there. I mean, it took 23 pounds to win, almost 24 pounds to win, and there were 2 bags right behind that, right around 20 pounds, and I think it took 16 or 17, or about 16 pounds to get a check. So definitely a good bite going on Table Rock right now. A lot of fish being caught. We just made the wrong decisions and didn't capitalize the key bites that we got over the weekend. But anyway, as far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 915.77 right now. Puts us almost a foot high. They are running water. They do have gates open. They're trying to flush it out, trying to drop it. Beaver's 8 feet high, so a lot of water coming out of Beaver Lake as well. Gates open, generators running. Another inch of rain today. Not looking good for the folks at Beaver. And 7.5 feet high at Bull Shoals. Again, gates running, or generators running, gates open. Trying to drop it as fast as I can. Another inch of rain today. Looking for the lakes probably come up this week. Water temperature, it hasn't moved much. Every time I've been out, we've been right around 45, 46 degrees. Get a warm day. I mean, even with these cold nights, I mean, we had a couple of nights this past week that were in the teens, and still we're staying 45, 46. So water temperature is not changing a whole lot. Get some warm weather. This was about a 45 to 50 degree rain, so I don't think it's going to affect the water temperature much. Supposed to warm up a little bit towards the end of the week. That happens, maybe we'll see the water temperature rise a little bit, but we're pretty much in that 45, 46 foot range, which is still a little bit high for this time of year. Normally we don't start seeing mid 40s until we get into March. But anyway, if you guys are coming down, so you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, you got a few key bites going on. I can tell you right now, you need to have an A-rig in your hand no matter where you are on the lake. A-rig is probably the most dominant bite. Again, I throw the Flash Mob with Kitech 2.8s on it and a 3.3 in the middle. Most of the fish are coming off of standing timber. You want to pay attention to standing timber, not necessarily the timber you can see, but the timber that's down there below the water surface. 1, 2, 3, a few scattered trees is always a lot better than a whole forest full of trees. Most of the fish coming anywhere from, well, they're mostly suspended, at least that's how it's been this week. Most of them are down about 10 to 12 feet over top of trees that top out around 15 to 20 feet, keeping the boat in about 30 to 35, making a cast over top of the trees, counting it down, and reeling it over the tops of the trees is how we've been catching them. You can do the same thing with a single swim bait if you're not an A-rig guy, using the Jewel Gem Shad 2.0 with a 3.3 or 2.8 Kitech. Catch them doing that. You can catch a few on a stick bait. The stick bait bite actually has gotten a little bit better over the past week or so. Most of them coming on either a Megabass Vision 110+1, or we have started to catch a few on the Spromic stick as well. Same sort of pattern, steeper banks, withstanding timber. Fish are basically suspended over top of it. With the water being 45 degrees, you really don't have to let the bait sit for very long. Usually 5 seconds or less on your paws. And then the other bite that's working down by the dam is the Jewel Pee Wee football jig. I'm catching a few on that. It seems like on those days, cloudy, kind of post-front days where you don't have any wind, I can catch them on a jig better than I can anything else. And that little Pee Wee football jig seems to be the ticket. Throwing the 7/16 in either Okeechobee Blue or Bass Whacker. And I've been matching it up with a beaver, a little smally beaver, versus putting the Speed Craw on there. Really seems to make a difference this time of year. They don't really want something that's got that much movement. So beaver's definitely been my best trailer on that. There is still a deep bite, and some days you can't get bit throwing the A-rig or a swim bait or a jig or a stick bait. You can still go out and catch a few deep. It's just not as good as it has been. Definitely want to have a Jewel scuba spoon, rapid jigging wrap, and a drop shot rig tied on for those days. Most of these fish are coming out of treetops. They have moved a little bit shallower. We were catching them in the 60s. Now it seems to be in that 40 to 50 to 55 foot range over top of trees or out on gravel flats. But you're going to have to work for them. You're going to have to look around a lot. You can see a few fish, but if there's no bait around, you really struggle to get bit. So you can still catch them deep if you want to. Go in the mid-lake area, again, A-rig's your best bet to catch a lot of fish right now, or to get better bites right now. Like, I throw the Flash Mob with the Kitechs on it, same sort of pattern, steeper banks, bluff end type banks, withstanding timber on it. Most of the fish are suspended in that 10 to 15 to 20 foot range, so throw it out, count it down, and reel it back in slow. Caught several fish doing that over the weekend. That's how we caught the 3 we had and the others that we didn't catch or get in the boat over the weekend. And we fish mainly the mid-lake area. Stick bait bite 2, Spromic stick, Megabass Vision 110. The +1 is a little bit better than the +2 or they're just a regular 110 right now. Same pattern, steeper banks, channel swing type banks over top of trees. Deep bite is, again, it's one day it's good, next day it's not. You can catch a few deep right now if you want to. Scuba spoon, jigging wrap, or drop shot rig. The bite out on the flats on the main lake does not seem to be as good in the mid-lake area as it is down by the dam. Most of what we're catching out on a deep rig or fishing deep have been in the treetops. That seems to be where the fish are in the mid-lake when you're fishing deep. And then a few on the Jewel Pee Wee football jig as well. Okeechobee Blue, Bass Whacker, matched up with a beaver. I've been either using a Magic Swirl or a Green Pumpkin beaver and dyeing the tail of it with a little bit of orange or a little bit of red. Just to give it a little bit more color. But regardless of what you throw, whether it's a swim bait, A-rig, jerk bait, well, deep doesn't matter, but jig, you want to fish it slow. Everything is moving very slowly. Water's still not real warm, so we're not getting a ton of bites and they're not super active yet. Go up into the James, you definitely want to have a jig tied on. You definitely want to have an A-rig tied on. Stick bait to some extent, but it seems like the stick bait bite is better where the water's a little bit clearer. So stick bait bite has not been as strong up there, but definitely have your Jewel Pro Spider jig or a Jewel Pee Wee football jig tied on. Steeper banks, fish it slow, switch out your trailer for a beaver versus a Speed Craw or a Pocket Craw or something like that. Something that has a little bit less movement really makes a difference. A-rig, same pattern that we're fishing all over the lake. Steeper banks, channel swing type banks with timber. You gotta have timber right now to really catch fish, guys. You can't just go on a flat barren bank and expect to catch fish like you can here in another month or so when they move up and get a lot closer to the spawn. Right now, they're slowly moving up and they're using that timber. Overall depth, 25 to 35, even 40 feet deep. We're looking for those trees that top out around 20 is key. And then keep your boat a good solid cast off of that so you can throw it past the tree and then bring it in over top of it. Same deal with the stick bait bites. Steeper banks, channel swing type banks are definitely key. So keep that in mind as well if you want to throw a stick bait up there. But like I said, the stick bait bite hasn't been as good in the James as it has been where the water's clear. Go up into the White River, same bites. Gotta have an A-rig tied on. Same sort of pattern. Look for those fish to be over top of trees, deeper trees, in 25 to 35 or even 40. You want those trees that top out around 20. And again, count it down, bring it over top of them. Stick bait as well has been working up there. Actually, probably the best stick bait bite is from Baxter to about, you know, maybe not quite the mouth of the Kings, but at least to Shell Knob. And those fish again are on steeper channel swing type banks with a little bit of timber on it. Those really seem to be key on that. And then the jig bite. We're catching quite a few on a jewel peewee football jig, Okeechobee blue bass whacker. Again, put a beaver on it. Don't use your speed crawl. Put a beaver on it. You're going to get a lot more bites this time of year with something that doesn't move as much. Most of those jig fish again are on steeper banks, and some days are as shallow as 7, 8, 10 foot deep. But most days you're going to find them in that 10 to 20 foot range. Some of them on points, especially, you know, main lake points, but some of them on points, but most of them are on those channel swing type banks. Channel swing type points are really key right now. Guys, we are almost done with February, which means March is next week, which means it's going to warm up finally, and hopefully our weather pattern will get squared away. Probably not, but we can hope. Fishing's good. Fishing's good. We're catching fish. You know, like I said, I've been out. Was out 4 or 5 days last week. Caught fish on every trip. Didn't really struggle to catch fish on any of the trips. They just, some days are a little better than others. You know, just like any other time of year. But this time of year, with this inconsistent weather pattern we've had, where we get rain and it warms up for a day and then cools off for 3 days. Warms up for a day, rains, cools off for 3 days. It's almost like we're dealing with a front every 2 days. So it has made it a little bit tougher. But the fishing's good. The fishing's getting better. Guys, if you're coming down, want to go learn how to throw an A-rig, now's the time to do it. Want to learn how to throw a stick bait, now's the time to do it. Want to learn how to throw a jig, now's the time to do it. All those things are happening right now, and they will get better. We are really starting to book up for March and April. Got a handful of dates left in March. April's a little bit more open, but the weather's going to get better, and you're going to want to go fishing. So make sure you're thinking about that. If you want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com, and either shoot me an email, book online. Either way, I get back to you as soon as I can. We'll get hooked up, pick out a date and a time, go out and fish and have a good time. Again, guys, take a look at tablerockfishingintel.com. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you do become a member. There's a ton of information there to really help you find and catch more fish on Table Rock. And like I said, we are going to continue to add information on a daily, weekly, monthly basis just to make it easier for you guys to catch fish, to give you guys more intel to help you find and catch more fish. Anyway, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please take a moment to subscribe. Again, thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.